Shout out to Rev876.
First question, and I just wanted to introduce yourself. So, what's your name and what's the type of car?
Okay, so I'm Yohann Townsend, driver of the 2013 1JZ swap Toyota FT86.
Yeah. We're gonna just go all the way back to introducing you.
Yeah.
What was your first car?
My first car was Mitsubishi Lancer wagon. I don't remember the exact year, but it's between 08 and 09.
I know it's a Lancer. So what kind of engine was it? What was in it?
Why I don't know the engine. It's just it was a car, automatic car with a CVT transmission and the handbrake had drum brakes at the back, so the handbrakes function very well.
This is your second car? Or?
Second car in 2 vehicles, so the wagon was my first car to do any event with dexterities, and the second car that I completed with.
Alright, so what got you into cars?
Okay, so that's definitely my father, Oliver Townsend. I grew up around him racing. He was in rally racing, and then later into circuit racing at Dover. From what I can remember, a few sparse memories from Dover, because you know you're young and you're not gonna remember everything. So it was really from rallying. Few little things. I remember sprints out by Iron Shore. Before it was even for drag. You had the straightaway, and it would
you make a right turn and go all the way around.
And that was we used that for sprints. So I remember a few rallies back in the day. But Dover is where all my memories really are strong from.
In terms of Dover itself, you said he used to do circuit and rally racing.
Yes.
So he used to compete basically on both ends. So why you chose drifting?
That's a good question. So I knew I liked cars from my time with my dad. He tell me that my first word was race. You know, you look like that's where you go.
Yeah.
So I love cars. And I never knew what I wanted to do in racing. I knew rallying was cool and fun. I knew circuit was fun. But I never really had a deep passion for either one of them. Not until 2009 when Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift came out. You know, it goes sound cheesy. But that movie, it lit a fire within me. I love drifting. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I'm not telling you, 2006 the movie dropped.
2000? Yeah, so suppose about this, 2006.
I was 9 years old
when it dropped.
Yeah, 2006 it dropped.
So seeing that it was 2006 when it come out.
Yeah.
And you were 9.
Yes.
You say your father was drifting, well not drifting, but rally racing and stuff like that. Did he get you into cars at that time? Like did he put you in a golf cart, put you in anything?
So I remember one day I was driving with him to Kingston, and him say, you know, go-kart racing for kids, you know, out of Palisados. Them time they me shy and thing and, you know, nerves and thing, I say, no, I don't do it. And it was a big regret for me.
Not doing the go-kart?
Yeah, because I always play it and I say, you know, I could have done the go-kart and you never do the go-kart and thing.
So it's out of fear you never do it or you just never into go-karting?
I think I liked it at the time, but I don't think the passion was as deep as others. So then the fear was because when you love something, you know, fear not really going to put you off of it.
That's true.
So I think that was the main thing.
So how was the transition between front wheel drive to this car here now, which is rear wheel drive?
So let me give you the history. So that Lancer wagon was my daily car. Time I was going to school and working part-time. Daily commute. And around 2017, my dad introduced me to Mark March. And, you know, he told me, you know, I could do some dexterities with the car. And he was saying, you know, the handbrake in there is strong. It was a very strong handbrake. Drum brakes in the back, and if you know about drum brakes, once you're well adjusted, when you put the handbrake, the wheels lock up. Yeah, man, so you say it's a perfect thing for dexterity. It's just a little long, but, you know, perfect thing to learn on. So I met Mark March, And they had a few sessions. Him and Stephen Mahoney, some sessions where they set up some cones and we practice pulling handbrake at the right time and going through cones and things in preparation for dexterities. And we went to those sessions with them. They teach me, for the timing on the handbrake, how to hold it, when to apply gas and all of that. It was very helpful. And I started doing dexterities. There are some, I don't remember the name of the series, but up at Cutta restaurant in Montpellier. And of course the Team Streets, dexterities. And yeah, so many things somewhere in Mobile done by National.
Yeah, I remember those. I think that's Speed or something like that, didn't it?
So
in the
before, when I started, there was a lot of Team Streets ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of the Team Streets from my memory.
Yeah. So how much you did reach in the Lancer? How far you did go? You ever win with the Lancer?
I got a third place with the Lancer before. But in the Lancer, being front wheel drive, sometimes you could basically hold the handbrake. If the conditions are right, you can press gas through the handbrake when the car is going. Rear wheel drive now, you're locking the back and the power is coming from the back. So now, and also it's manual, so you have to press the clutch. And now you have a lot more timing.
Okay. So it's a lot of timing.
Yes. So it's a completely different thing. It was night and day.
Right. And so from dexterity to drifting, who got you into drifting?
This car, well, at first on my dad's car, it was his baby. You get it when it just released. And it's a car where him took all the bells and whistles to it, supercharged it, exhaust on it, suspension, headers, flex fuel, all of that. Yeah, they up to a point making 300 horsepower on the Subaru F820 engine. He just had the car. Nobody could touch it. I remember, asking him to drive it one day, and he looked at me and laughing on my face. And he said no. So it took a lot. I love drifting, and I didn't have a car to drift with. So I used to play on Xbox, Forza Motorsports, and go Top Gear test track and do some sliding and thing, and till I got the concept. And I would tell him that, I have the concept, play the game, I have the concept. He never believed me because it's a video game. So, a lot of back and forth, weeks and months pass. And him say, you know what, show me what you can do. We go in a little parking lot and say, show me what you can do. And start spinning the car. Just remember everything we learned in the game and start spinning the car.
Oh, so basically from sim to car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, him say, you know what, him know Cutta. So him go make me talk to Cutta. And then from that point, Cutta started teaching me how to drift.
Okay.
So he took me to some empty spaces and put cones. Configured and taught me how to the transitioning from the gas to the clutch to the handbrake, how to time it, when to pull the handbrake, and there's a big difference in how long you pull a handbrake with rear wheel drive versus front wheel drive. So and the rest was history.
Okay, so, alright, so in terms of the platform itself, you said it was a F820 Subaru engine.
Yes.
And that was originally in the car from the drum.
Yeah, man.
So,
I tell you, as you talk about learning in this car, the car pretty. With afraid for lick it. I love the car enough. So every time I drive it, it's like I said, no, I'm going to lick this car enough. Yeah,
because initially you say I did your father baby car,
yes,
like I did team.
So I'm reluctant let me drive it.
Yeah.
So I have to take care of it and me treat it like my baby too.
Yeah.
So when I go events, sometimes showing my driving where I'm very cautious.
Yeah.
But now I got to let the car.
Yeah.
So I prep out to drive sparingly.
Yeah.
Than to go too hard and mash it up.
Yeah, that's true. Whereas it have even a body kit and everything on here too. Yeah. So it's kinda, you have a look to it. Yeah. So we're talking to me earlier about it, and you said Cutta was the person that inspired you to. 100%. Alright, so how long did the build take?
Took a little over a year and a couple months.
And what was the reason behind the swap from FA20 to 1JZ?
Okay, that's a good question. So when this car was supercharged, it was on a system called Ecotech. And Ecotech had a hard limiter in the car, so at a certain RPM, call it 7,000. If you were to reach the limiter, it wouldn't bounce off of the limit and go up. No, it would cut completely the power. So it dropped the power, and then you would have to build it up now back from like 2,000 RPM.
So you lose momentum completely.
Yeah, so at events, so if I was speeding a slide and I reach the limiter, I would lose a slide because power is cut. So I'd have to use my foot and try to speed below that limiter to keep the momentum going and keep the slide.
So you have to basically range where you're revving it to. You can't go above, what, 6 grand somewhere?
I can't go past 6.5.
6.5?
Yeah, because if you reach 7,000 now, it cut.
Okay. So transitioning from that to now 1JZ where you can rev go all the way around. What's the learning curve there basically? What's the difference in power?
So come on, kind of run through the development with the Ep4 first.
Yeah.
So to combat the limiter thing.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that my dad got it to 300 horsepower. So with that supercharger, when he got it and the Ecotech system, Yohann from More Tuning was the one to tune it in Kingston with flex fuel and so forth. And the car made 305 horsepower with Yohann did all the research and found out that Haltech could. But for the Haltech to work, Haltech 1500, for it to work would need a plug and play system. So I got this plug and play system that fed the stock ECU into the Haltech and then he tuned it, right? Along the way we realized that Haltech doesn't work with direct injection, only port injection. So then we say, okay, so we have to disable direct injectors and then put some bigger injectors for the port. So did that, and then at P&L Racing in Kingston, Paul Lee worked on the car and changed the fuel setup from the direct injection and port injection to full return style setup. So he did some fuel line adjustments and so forth so that the fuel only go to the port injectors.
Right, so in terms of the injectors that you had before, you said you got, you remember the CC injector that you had to upgrade from? Or two?
I don't remember. I remember some injector dynamics I had to get. I don't remember the CC. But I remember changing injectors, a couple of things changing, fuel rail had to change.
Oh, so you basically have to reroute everything fueling.
Yes.
Okay.
And Paul Lee did that.
And even when you did all of those changes, it adjusts where you could have rev go now or you could have rev out completely now?
So I could rev out more. So what happened was, the car was functioning very nicely. It was revving out. I could hold the limiter. But then the car developed a problem where the serpentine belt, so those engines, one belt run the water pump, the crank pulley, everything. One belt, serpentine belt, and what happened is the belt keep bursting. Like with a water pump, you know, if that belt bursts, the car instantly go So I went through 5 to 6 belts during one summer, trying to get ready for the first drift rupture. I remember. And you know, we thought we solved the problem. I remember going to our tires for days in Mandeville, and the belt burst on me, and Sean Solomon towed me to his home and held the car for me so I could get back a belt and return to him. It's a big help from him because I don't live in Mandeville, I live in a Kingston.
Yeah.
You know, he put the car in the yard. You know, I really appreciate that. I got back another belt. We changed some pulleys. So some pulleys were heating up the belt, so I changed some pulleys and put down and thought it solved the problem. Sean helped me put on back the belt, and after drift rupture I went. Drove the car to South.
Oh, that's the one that was at Jam West?
Jam West. Yeah, the first one at Jam West. So I remember going out before the event started just to test the car. Went out to test the car, sliding around that corner. If you know the corner where the judges are, the building where the judges are. The
long corner, like.
Yeah.
The
big curve one.
Yeah.
So I went to slide around there, the car was sliding and things. I said, yes, finally I can drift the car.
Yeah.
And if I stay on the limiter and now cut up, I said, yes. And then I heard the sound in the engine bay. That I know, that famous sound, that I know very well by now where the belt just burst.
Yeah.
I said, sound ease, so I just cruise the car back, go in the engine bay, and blow on the hole, bust the bonnet.
Yeah.
And the belt was stripped to ribbons.
Yeah.
In there, I say, oh, I've had enough. I'm done with this engine now. And you need something different. This not gonna work. You know?
So from there is when you decided that you just want to change to Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Or
I know I wanted an engine set.
yeah.
And I love the Jay-Z from a little longer time.
Yeah.
It was a bulletproof engine.
Yeah.
You could ride the limiter till kingdom come. And how it just look.
Yeah.
The symmetry of it.
Yeah.
It's a man that kind of OCD, so it just looks symmetrical. I like the vertical look, turbo right there, intake right there. It just looks nice. Like it just, aesthetically pleasing. So a lot of different factors go into it. And then, Cutta as a Toyota genius.
Yeah.
So I say, oh, I do this, I Cutta me for link him, I'm a teacher too. So
Yeah.
the perfect combination.
A perfect combination. So
yeah. So I call him and I say, oh, after the event, he competed at the event very well. As the first event with his Altezza.
Yeah.
The 2 Jay-Z sub Altezza.
Yeah.
And I call him later in the weekend and said, boy, Cutta, do I drink the sub on that car?
Yeah.
And boy, you did it for me. And think about the time thing and then, we start working on it from there.
Alright, so see that you call him at that point.
Yeah.
Why you chose one Jay-Z over 2 Jay-Z? Everybody wants a 2 Jay-Z.
We want 2 Jay-Z too,
yeah. So,
we don't want 2 Jay-Z too.
Yeah.
The 2 Jay-Z has a higher deck height
Yeah.
than 1 Jay-Z. So what happened? I want to keep this car as close.
oh, you want it to look stock or as close as possible to the original look?
Yes. And Cutta was telling me, if you're not going to a full race car, but you do 1 Jay-Z. Because with the 2 Jay-Z, you have to do some cutting of the subframe and so forth to make it fit.
Yeah.
So that the bonnet is able to close.
Yeah.
But the 1 Jay-Z, would fit more flush.
Yeah.
And just so it's it like it comes with me.
Alright, so in terms of power burn range,
Yeah.
I think Cutta, I did talk to him one time about it. Him say about 600 to 700 somewhere there horsepower him have.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So in terms of power burn range, I don't know if you drive Cutta car before or you drive in it before.
I've driven in it before.
You drive in it before. So is there basically a difference when you're trying to drift that power range compared to your car or?
So as I said, we drive in the car with him, So we see when him drifting, the car is insane. You build up some seats sideways.
Yeah.
I feel some breeze and lick me in my face. I'm not used to sideways.
Yeah.
It's very shocking and scary.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, So we'll take it in steps.
Yeah.
Right now the car makes 450 horsepower. And I'm learning it again. With a turbo versus supercharger. So with a supercharger, the power is
instant.
Linear.
Yeah.
It's instant.
Yeah.
So it goes up very even.
Yeah, the turbo have to build up.
Turbo now, at a certain RPM, really kick in.
Yeah.
And you start feeding the power with one time, So there's a bit of adjustment. My first time driving it would be, or actually drifting it would be at Farm Corner. And Cutta actually kind of told me what to expect. And from what he said and thing, feel out the car and it was good. The learning curve for me wasn't too steep. I performed well enough with the car, but I know that I can.
You can master it.
Yes.
Right,
I'm not really there yet.
And how much you come in Farm Corner?
Farm Corner, the dexterity section I came fourth. And the drift section, I remember qualifying fourth, but I didn't check the standing at the end.
Okay. And in terms of Farm Corner, that was your first event out with the swap?
Yes.
Was there a different reception, like people came over to look now to see?
The car sounds nice enough.
Yeah.
So people just almost say the car sounds sweet. I think I love every time I rub the car, it sounds sweet and I feel nice in there.
And is like you ever get like a fun reaction like in the car at Farm Corner? You get one?
Well, I'm in the car still because you're driving and you focus on it, you can't really pay attention.
Yeah.
But I see enough rating like after you done drive and thing, come and say, oh, the car sounds sweet and sweet it does sound.
That's true. Alright, so transitioning from first event to, I think you say you went to test for this other day.
Yes.
And you came second, right? Second? Third? And how was that experience? So you get more used to the car at that point and you're used to the power range. How did you perform?
Okay, so there, so it's my first time at that track. It's really a go-kart track. Set a course, a dexterity course on it. Pretty tight. And it was fun. I felt myself getting more used to the throttle control. So the throttle control is a big difference between that engine and this one. And yeah, it's just I feel myself slowly getting there. I know I'm not perfect with the throttle yet, but very soon.
So coming third at that event, now is it more motivating you to jump into the Ruption and be more confident, like you're more confident with the car now?
Definitely. But dexterity is really the route to driving either. Because if you can control the car in a very tight space and control the traction that you have in a tight space, it can translate to everything. Okay. So anyone who wants to start drifting, would encourage them to start dexterity first.
Okay. Alright, so back to the questions on the car itself. You said originally it came with a certain gearbox. What's the type of gearbox?
So I don't know the code, but it's the original gearbox for the 86s.
Okay. And the diff?
And the diff was a limited slip. It came stuck with a limited slip diff. I believe it's Townsend.
Okay, so there were no changes made between the diff or the gearbox when you did the swap?
Right, so when I did the swap, I got the engine with a gearbox attached to it, double 58 gearbox, and Cutta made the modifier. I had to get gearbox mount and engine mount, and the drive shaft had to be adjusted. And then before the swap, we had changed the diff to a 1.5 limited slip diff to make it slide more, and then also give better grip for like grab better on straightaways for dexterity application, so you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Okay.
So that was on the car initially.
Okay. And you said you tuned it for 450 horsepower. Why you limited to just 450? Or that was what the tuner made it.
So the W58 gearbox
is
one of the softer gearboxes. So at certain power bands,
okay.
So that so that you can have some life out of this gearbox.
Okay. And what's the tuner's name?
So yes, so after Cutta built the engine, Indian wired it, build a wire loom field, wire the car between the new ECU, or the ECU master, and tune it. When you want to tune it, everything in the car working. The dashboard is working as if nothing changed. If you sit in the car, you'd know that there's an engine swap in there. The dashboard is working fine.
Also, everything still comes on, just like the engine before.
If you don't bust if you don't bump the hood, you wouldn't know that.
Okay. So big up Indian.
Big piece of work Indian though.
Yeah. Big up Indian. Alright, so moving back to specs of the car, right? We never really talk about the suspension, but let's talk about it. What's the type of suspension that's on it?
So BC Racing coilovers on the car.
And it comes with full dampers, everything. You can adjust the bounce. Yes. Okay. Yes. And what's the type of rim setup?
So the rims on the car now, some 18-inch HRE rims that from when my dad have in the car, he put them on.
Okay, and the tires, tires?
245, 40, 80.
Okay. That's alright, so in terms of interior, obviously we can see the cage from out here. Yeah. But what inspired the cage and the color of the cage?
So the color of the cage is really what we could get. So what we have is a bolt-in roll cage because for Ruption, for safety reasons, every car must have a form of cage in there. And luckily it's not too strict, so a bolt-in cage is acceptable. So I got that. So in the event that you want to reverse it, you can always unbolt it.
Okay, and you just install it yourself or Cutta install it?
From your car swap, Cutta do everything to this car.
Okay, so big up Cutta.
Put on the BC racing coilovers.
Okay, so you did all the adjustments on the coilovers too? Okay. Everything.
Yeah, man.
Alright, big up Cutta.
Yeah, man.
Alright, so since the swap was done, you ever drive another car with Cutta and him say this or do this to adjust the speed now or do any changes? No?
No. So from the initial teaching, the initial time he taught me, when I got the concept, he started with spoon feeding. It's just for me to get the concept. And then a student learn, I have to learn by trial and error.
Yeah.
So if you submit to something now, and it look off, he would tell me, say, oh, you know,
I just listen.
but really and truly now he's leaving it up to me. And from the lessons he gave me in the beginning, and yeah, I learned it from there.
Alright, so in drift Ruption, obviously Cutta is there.
Yeah.
Cutta is a teacher. You would have want to be more competitive with your teacher in drift Ruption, or so he's no, I wouldn't say rival, but your competitor, your main competitor. If one person you want hash it out with.
You know, because I just coming back, I'm not really looking at rivalry like that. How I look at it is getting better for myself. So once I'm better than myself the day before, I'm happy.
Okay.
I can beat some people on the way that nice too.
Alright, so other day, most recent thing that I've seen John Blur out fire on the internet, out trying to aim for you in terms of, I don't know if you call him out or what.
Well, you know, so me and John both have the same chassis car. We have the Subaru BRZ, we have the 86.
Yeah.
So my car has been out for a while. He's been doing some events, but he has some few engine issues that he's been working through. So when the swap finally done, I said, yeah man, well, I forgot out again. So put a little reel and thing, I call him out, and you know, respond, and I say yes, he'll be at tires for days. But you know, I'm not gonna say it's him punk out, but he had some issues with his car, so I can understand that. So
alright, so you said him basically for just ready up for drift Ruption then?
Yeah, well, if he's able to,
Okay, alright.
But we know how the car thing gone working on car and have problems with it, so I'm not pressure.
Okay. Alright. So basically in terms of questions we kind of complete. You want to just walk us through the car?
Okay, yeah man.
Alright.
Oh, Jay-Z pretty man.
Alright, what size turbo is this? Alright, so you see purple on the top. What's the concept behind the purple? Then you have blue on the car and there, then you have blue on the inside. I never just go blue.
But I like purple.
Okay.
I like the purple. I like this specific shade of purple, and I got it powder coated specifically. So the Valcos are powder coated in this version of purple. I spoke to Audley Dyer, based in Ochi. And we picked out this color. It's actually a custom color.
Is that a custom color?
Yeah man.
Okay. So basically anytime you see this color here,
Yohann purple.
Yohann
purple it name, and that's him call it too.
Alright. And we'll just walk to the inside. Because I know people probably see the cage or hear of it. But where do you get the cage from?
It's an online cage, you know. Yeah, so I saw the cage that fit for the car. And you need a bolt-in cage, and it was available, so it was,
Okay. Alright. Start.
The battery, well, it's not.
Alright. You can have her come take a look.
Can have a look. I hope we didn't interrupt church.
We never
Oh
interrupt
no,
her.
we were finished.
Oh, lovely.
Mommy, I said I hear it.
Hello.
Hello. You say hear it. Alright, so this is Yohann, it's his car.
Hi.
You wanna go in it? You can.
You want to press the gap?
Alright, you can go a bit.
Press on it. Pick up. Don't make it stay down too long, okay? Just
Which one?
Yes.
this one. Just press and come up. Press and come up. Yeah.
Go on, so any big ups you want to?
Yeah, man. So my journey is coming from a long way, and this car is coming from a long way.
Mhm.
So I big up Mark March, Stephen Mahoney, big up Sean Solomon, saving me
Yeah.
that time. Big up Mohan,
Mhm.
Paul Lee,
Mhm.
for work on the car before the swap.
Mhm.
Big up my sister Kai, she always supporting me, always
Yeah.
at the events. She do my videos, she's responsible for most of my reels.
Okay.
And she's most responsible for my best performing reels.
So
As a star.
Kai drive. I saw Kai drive the car a couple
She
of
tried
times.
it before.
She drive. She know the drift.
She know for drift, man.
Okay.
Teach her. The car, you know, my
Yeah. I baby see.
my heart, you know.
You never know.
So I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Sorry, when my heart can manage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big up Cutta.
Yeah.
Man, since the swap, Cutta's done every single thing on this car.
Yeah.
Install the dual caliper setup, the hydraulic handbrake,
Yeah.
the swap,
Yeah.
the
Everything.
coil, every single
Everything.
thing. Every
Yeah.
single thing you could have think of. The roll gauge, everything.
Okay.
The teacher and the
Yeah.
general that.
Yeah.
And big up my father.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have loved motorsports and be where I am now if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
So big up Rev876 Townsend.
Yeah. All right. Big up again, Yohann.
And big up high rev too. So them link to the vlog.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
And you know what, inspire other people to
Yeah.
trip and builds like this.
All right.
you know?
So, seeing that all of us are here now, fairly young.
Yeah.
If you wanted to inspire someone just starting out,
Yes.
no, not about racing,
Yes.
just starting out,
Yes.
what you would have tell them?
I tell you, any career you have now, whether it's what you want to end with or your goal, enter dexterity. Dexterities are a easy way to test your driving skills, build your driving skills with anything you have. So as I said before, I started with a Lancer wagon. You don't ever think to race a Lancer wagon.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I started. Build up the skills, build up the love for it,
Yeah.
and then build up to this.
Alright.
You know?
Alright,
So-
big up again, bro.
Yeah, man, big
Respect
up.
again. Thanks for the opportunity, because trust me, the car sound good, move good, everything about it good.
Respect,
So
man.
big up you and big up Cutta
Yeah,
again.
man. Respect.
Alright, respect, bro.